If you are tired to always hear words like noun, adjective, adverb, pronouns in your Italian class and not feeling really sure what they are talking about, well, today I'm here to help you. These words like adjective, verb, adverb refer to parts of the sentence. So they are parts of the sentence in Italian, and you need to know them in order to build your sentences correctly in Italian. So we're talking about 6 elements: noun, adjective, article, verb, adverb, and pronouns. And what I realized over the years is that I was always referring to them while I was teaching my lessons, but I realized that they were clear to me as a teacher, but they were mostly not clear to my students, who of course had different jobs and they weren't talking about Italian grammar all day long as I am. So I realized I needed to make this clear to my students, to explain them, because they are really the structure, the framework inside which we operate when we learn Italian grammar. If you have these concepts clear, you will understand more of your grammar classes. So I'm here today to help you make sense of these weird words, what they mean, and how to use them correctly to make your own sentences in Italian. So let's learn them together. So I'm going to split up this video in 2 parts, otherwise it would be too long and too complex, and these things need a little bit of time to be absorbed. So today we're going to talk about 3 parts of the sentence: noun, adjective, and article, and how to use them correctly, and what they are, and what you need to remember to use them correctly. Okay, let's begin with the noun. In Italian, the noun is called sostantivo. Sostantivo means noun. But what is a sostantivo? What is a noun? Well, I always explain this to students, saying that sostantivo, or noun, is the unique label that we give to things, animals, people, even feelings. The unique label we assign to each one of them so that it's faster to refer to them. Let me explain what I mean. Let's suppose I want to talk about a cup, but I didn't have the word cup. The word cup is a noun, sostantivo. If I didn't have this word, this unique label for that object, and I needed to tell you, grab a cup for me, please, I would need to tell you, please grab that container that's made of glass or ceramic and usually comes with a handle that we use to pour liquid in it so that we can drink the liquid in it. That would be a little bit too much for everyday conversation, wouldn't it? So instead, we just say cup, tazza in Italian, tazza. So that's what a sostantivo, what a noun is. It's the unique label we assign to an object to make it easier to refer to it. We have plenty of sostantivi, we have plenty of nouns because we have plenty of objects, animals, feelings, whatever. The most important thing to remember about noun in Italian is that it's essential to know the gender of that noun. In Italian, every noun has a gender. It's either masculine or feminine, and your job is to learn that as quickly as possible, because the rest of Italian grammar will depend on this. I always say that the noun is the king or the queen of the sentence in Italian. And what do I mean with that is that the noun is key to craft your correct Italian sentence, and you need to know the gender, because the gender of that noun will determine the gender of the other parts of the sentence, of the other words in the sentence that we're going to learn today, because they follow the noun. That's why I say the noun is the king if it's masculine, and it's the queen if it's feminine. All the other parts of the sentence will need to adjust to match the noun. So let me give you an example. Tazza means cup and it's feminine. Bicchiere means glass, like this one, and it is masculine. It's very important that when you learn tazza and when you learn bicchiere, you learn the gender, because everything else will depend on this. Now, if you don't know anything about gender nouns in Italian and how important this is, please go check out my videos on this topic. I have more than one video on gender of nouns, how to tell the gender of a noun, how to tell when the word is not that easy to read. I'm going to leave the links in the description below. As always, please have a look at them if you haven't yet. So let's move on. This is what a noun is. And then remember, the biggest takeaway from today's lesson is the noun is the king or the queen of the sentence. You need to learn the gender of the noun to adjust the other words and make them match the noun. The noun rules. Okay, let's move on. The second part of the sentence that we're going to learn today is the adjective. In Italian, aggettivo. Aggettivo. Now, what is an adjective? Well, let me give an example first, and you will understand for real what an adjective is. If we're talking about the tazza, the cup, and I just say tazza, what do you picture in your mind? You will probably picture any tazza you have at home, your favorite tazza, but you're probably not picturing the tazza I was thinking about. If I want you to think about exactly the tazza I have in mind, I have to give you more information. If I just tell you tazza, the noun, you are free to imagine whatever you want. If instead I describe the tazza more, like I'm telling you that the tazza is big or small or white, then you will probably realize what tazza I'm talking about. All those words that describe that tazza more, those are adjectives. So adjectives are words that we use to give more information about the noun. The noun itself gives you a concept, a label, but it's the adjective that describes more accurately that noun. That's what an adjective is. So, talking more about that tazza, I can tell you una tazza grande, big, or bianca, white, or alta, tall, or piena, full. All these words, grande, bianca, alta, piena, those are adjectives. Those are words that describe a noun. They give you more information about the noun. That's what an adjective is. Now, what I want you to remember about adjectives when you craft your own sentences is that adjectives usually come after the noun. And this is different from English. In English, you would say a big cup, a white cup, a tall cup, a full cup. In Italian, look at those. They all come after cup. Una tazza grande, una tazza bianca, una tazza alta, una tazza piena. So remember, most important thing about adjective is they usually come after the noun. That's different from English. Now, that's all for the adjective now. We're going to talk about them a little bit more at the end of this video. Now we need to talk about the third part of the sentence that we're going to learn today, and that's the article. In Italiano, articolo. Articolo. You will notice that we usually use articles in Italian more than you do in English. For example, in English you may say, I eat pizza. In Italian, we cannot say mangio pizza. That's wrong. We need to use the article. That's why we say mangio la pizza, not mangio pizza. Mangio la pizza. So the article is very, very important in Italian, and we almost always use it, and definitely we use it more than in English. Now, what I want to, so let me show you this sentence again so you can see it. Mangio la pizza. I eat pizza. We say I eat the pizza, the pizza. Okay, the most important thing I want to remember about the article, but this actually applies even to the adjective, is what's called the noun-adjective-article agreement. This is very important. Article and adjective need to match the gender of the noun. Do you remember I told you that the gender is the king or the queen, they rule? Well, that's the example, that's the application. If the noun is feminine, the article and the adjective will be feminine. So now finally you should have clear what they mean when they talk about gender agreement, gender nouns agreement, adjective, article, noun agreement. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that the noun dictates the gender of the other parts of the sentence, naming the article and the adjective. The article and the adjective will need to follow the gender of the noun. And this is something you may not want to overlook. You have no idea how many students I have. They are intermediate. You learn this as the number one lesson in Italian classes, which is correct because this is the most important one. But the problem is that this often gets, most people forget about this. They don't review this, they don't focus on this. They're like, oh yeah, I know, that's the day one Italian class, let's move on, I want to know more, I want to know about subjunctive. And so I have students who may learn about subjunctive and they may use it quite correctly, but they still make mistakes with the agreement. And this is not good because this is the foundation. These are the pillars of good Italian. So please, please, please never forget about this. Never overlook this. And now let me show you a few examples so you can see this. Let's suppose you want to say an empty glass. We learned glass today. How do we say that? Bicchiere. Now, if you want to say an empty glass, bicchiere is the noun because it's the unique label we give to this object to know we're talking about this. Empty is it's a description of the glass. I'm telling you that the glass doesn't have water in it or liquid in it. It's empty. So it's a description. Therefore, it's an adjective. And a is an article. I'm telling you it's a generic glass. It's not that specific glass. It's a generic glass. That's the article. So if I want to say that in Italian, bicchiere is masculine, an article and empty, the adjective, need to have the same gender as this one. So this is what you will have. Un bicchiere vuoto. Bicchiere is the noun. It's masculine. Therefore, the adjective will need to be masculine. Vuoto. And the article will need to be masculine. Un bicchiere vuoto. That's what they mean when they talk about gender agreement of noun, adjective, and article. Let me give you another example with cup. We also learned the word for cup today, which is tazza. If I want to say a full cup, a is the article, cup is the noun, and full is the adjective, because the adjective describes a noun. It's telling you that the cup doesn't have a liquid in it. It's a description. So that in Italian would be una tazza vuota. Piena. Una tazza piena. Can you notice how we have an agreement? In this case, the agreement is very clear because they all have the same ending. Una tazza piena. Tazza is feminine. Tazza rules. So una and piena will be feminine. So keep this in mind. The noun never changes. The noun is assigned a gender that's always the same and you need to learn it. But the article and the adjective will change. They can have different endings. They can have different versions because those versions will need to change. You will need to pick the right version to match the gender of the noun. Okay guys, that's all for today. I know grammar can be tricky, but I hope I explained a very important concept in Italian. This is going to help you with understanding more when your teacher is talking about, or when your teacher is talking about noun, adjective and article, when you read a book, an Italian grammar book, and you see this concept. But also this is going to help you make your own sentences. Whenever you make, this is a portion of a sentence with the noun, the article, and the adjective, now you know what to think about. The agreement, the placement, the noun, that's the king or the queen, and how everything else needs to follow and to match it. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was clear. And please have a look at the links I'm going to leave in the description, because I'm going to leave you links to all the other videos I've made that explain this concept more in depth. I know they can be a lot. That's why I'm going to make a video number 2 with the rest of the concepts that are related to the parts of the sentence. I hope you are going to have a great day. Buona giornata e a presto. Ciao da Valentina.